We often apply these in our programme in a much more holistic manner. If you think about your own well-being actually starts with your physical well-being. We often support individuals whose healthcare needs are really quite poor. So a well-being approach would say, for example, around health, are we getting that person's health needs met rather than dealing with the symptoms of those health needs? To give you a good example, recently I was working with a staff team that were focusing on an individual with autism who we suspected had stress-related migraine. Now, that manifested itself in self-injurious behaviour and quite severely intense challenging behaviours, which were very difficult for people to cope with. However, what we also found within the physical checks is that migraine was suspected, and actually in that particular instance, migraine medication was used on a controlled basis, and it had a dramatic effect on reducing behaviours of concern. If you don't have a wellbeing framework, you might not get to that conclusion. And that's just one area of wellbeing. If you think about wellbeing in general, it involves emotional wellbeing, spiritual wellbeing, much broader categories. Some of our wellbeing is based on our connectedness to others in society. So wellbeing provides a much more holistic framework for looking at a person rather than targeting behaviours per se. It really is a framework that's growing in prominence. And one of the main reasons for that is that stress research, health research has shown that there are very important facets to our well-being. To give you one last example, if you have a high degree of perceived control over your life, you're more likely to score higher on indices of well-being. For example, you're likely to live longer. You're likely to survive cardiac disease longer. There's such a growing body of international knowledge about taking this kind of more holistic framework that I think it's a little bit more than putting old wine in a new pot. It's actually saying to us we need to change the language in entirety about how we look at people with challenging behaviours or behaviours of concern.